Mackenzie Johnston with Cattle News Central, bringing you your January 26th cattle industry headlines. Brought to you by AgRisk Advisors. They provide risk management programs to livestock producers all throughout the West. Whether you are concerned about price or weather risk, AgRisk Advisors, they are here to help. With current day market fluctuations, there is nothing more important than locking in a price floor on your cattle. I'd say the past couple of days is a great example of that. So if you're wanting to learn about an LRP, go ahead and reach out to an advisor today. Also sponsored by Circle 5 Cow School. They host classes from Tennessee to Texas almost every week, so you can learn how to preg check your own cows or to start AIing. If you'd like to check out their schedule, head on over to circle5cowschool.com. That is the number 5 in there, or you can go ahead and just give them a follow on Facebook. And finally, Real Beef Made from Plants campaign. The creative folks over at American Beef Producer Magazine are now offering hats, t-shirts, and bumper stickers that are promoting wholesome beef. If you'd like to check out what they have to offer, head on over to realbeef.store. According to Yahoo News, rancher Don Gittleson of Walden, Colorado, has had a rough go over the last week dealing with wolf attacks that killed 2 of his bred cows. The one cow had to be euthanized because of her injuries being so extreme, and the other one was just found half-eaten dead. These attacks come just a week after a border collie was killed at a ranch adjacent to Gittleson's. If it were Montana, Wyoming, or Idaho, Gittleson could just grab a gun and take care of the situation. But unfortunately, it's Colorado, and you can't do that. If you kill a wolf in Colorado, you can face a fine up to $100,000, a year in jail, and a lifetime loss of hunting privileges. This situation all started when a pair of wolves migrated naturally into Colorado from Wyoming and had 6 pups last spring. This was the first time in 80 years that wolf pups had been born in Colorado. The crazy thing is, while these wolves were just naturally migrating into Colorado without any human intervention, Colorado wildlife officials are in the midst of setting up plans to relocate wolves to Colorado from other states after a wolf reintroduction measure was narrowly approved by voters back in 2020. Talk about a horrendous idea. This example, what happened with Gittleson here in the past couple weeks, is enough to show that wolves have no place there in Colorado. The damage it is going to do to livestock producers and people in general. What will it take for people to realize that these wolves are dangerous? And it's not going to go over well at all. So this measure that was approved, it states that wolves will be reintroduced into the state by the end of 2023, but Governor Polis, Colorado's governor, he made the statement that he would actually like to see those wolves reintroduced as early as this year. In hopes of resolving this situation, Colorado Parks and Wildlife authorized an emergency resolution on January 12th, allowing ranchers to haze wolves that threaten livestock or working animals. Acceptable hazing methods include chasing wolves by vehicles, firing rubber bullets at them, hiring range riders to watch the herd overnight, or scaring them with flags on fence lines. According to Gittleson, these hazing methods are inadequate and impractical. What ranchers really need is the ability to protect their livestock, even if that means lethal management. Originally, the state wildlife agency offered to pay for hazing efforts, but Gittleson recently received an email stating that there is no current funding for the hazing techniques. Colorado Parks and Wildlife will compensate both Gittleson and his neighbor for the cattle dog that was killed and also the 2 bred cows that were killed. So far, there has been no more reported wolf depredation incidents. CNBC has reported that starting February 14th, Valentine's Day, McDonald's will begin rolling out its plant-based McPlant burger at approximately 100 locations in the San Francisco Bay and Dallas-Fort Worth areas. The fast food company is hoping to learn more about what learn more about consumer demand by expanding their reach with their fake burger that is made from Beyond Meat. McDonald's has went all in with this McPlant burger, as it is already a staple in international markets, such as in Sweden, Denmark, Austria, the Netherlands, and the UK. Beyond Meat is hoping that this expanded rollout will give the company's stocks a boost, considering the fact that they have fallen 54% in the past 12 months. Cassie Fish with the Beef Read has reported that after a Monday that can only be described as a bloodbath, Tuesday was not much better for the cattle markets. Fish stated that fundamentals in our markets are darn near perfect, but throughput limitations in fed cattle processing and growing numbers of captive supply combine to limit prices. It's not just that our market hasn't been performing like it should for the past week or the past couple weeks or the past few months. It's the fact that our markets have been underperforming for the past few years. Fish closed by saying that fed cattle supplies are tight over the next 3 months compared to the last few years. This was supposed to ensure a strong cash market this spring, and hopefully it will in the near future. But if there is going to be any kind of market recovery, it must be in the spot market. It must happen here soon, and it needs to continue on for the next few weeks. That is all I have for news for you guys this morning. I wanted to take a moment and ask you all to say a prayer, not only for our nation, but for those 8,500 troops that are now on high alert that may be deployed because of the situation between Ukraine and Russia. I realize this might not go over very well with everyone, but I've always had a strong opinion when it comes to politics and situations like this. But in my opinion, the United States has no obligation to either of these countries. They are not American, and they do not have the same interests as us in any way. It's absolutely terrifying, in my opinion, that the Biden administration is stepping out and handling this situation on the other side of the world. We all saw how the Biden administration handled Afghanistan and how that turned out. We lost 13 young men and women because of reckless, just terrible decisions by the Biden administration with Afghanistan. The entire political class here in the U.S. is literally running at full speed ahead in the wrong direction. And those in Washington are proving just how big of fools they are and just how fast they can destruct this country. There's no doubt about it. So if you get a moment, be sure to say a little prayer. That's all I've got for you guys this morning. I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday. I'll catch you later.